Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. I got backed up a little bit closer to the TV. I had a TV sitting here. There's a situation going on, but the little TV. I'm playing video games, so you can hear my Xbox growling down there. So I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember 2023. I'm still gonna try to push this show. I added more to my thing. This is the same day. This is the thing when this is coming out. And this is coming out. It's this. You'll be watching this on the same day that I did Genius. However, it's actually been a couple days since I didn't do anything on Thursday. It's now Friday. You know, the day before Veterans Day that I'm recording this. But you'll be getting this on a Monday, Sunday, Christmas Eve. Yeah. It's Christmas Eve, okay. So we're talking about the 13th year. It was the Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM, that come out in 1999. It stars Ches Starbuck, who never did anything else, Courtney Draper, who was also in Jersey, Dave Coulier, you know, Joey from Full House. If you don't remember him, well, I wish you would. Tim Redwine is back, previously been in Punks, which came out the same year, but he plays Sean McNamara in this, sort of friend of Cody's. I feel like puberty hit him hard in the months between filming the projects, because his voice is a little deeper. Like, he hit puberty, his voice is a little deeper, he's a little bit taller. I don't know, I always thought it was weird. Oh, this must be later, but they were released the same year. However, Punks was released back in February, March. This was released in May. Maybe there's a difference there. I don't know. Maybe puberty hit after he got done filming, or towards the end of filming. Who knows? Puberty is when I have three different voices of Wart or Arthur in the Sword in the Stone. But yeah, the story is that Cody is just your average 13-year-old. He just turned 13. It's his birthday, and then weird things just, start to happen. Like, he gets scales on his hands, and he's very, very thirsty for water. And then he gets fins on his legs eventually. And he's a really fast swimmer. And could he be a mermaid? Merman, excuse me. Well, actually, we start 13 years prior, where none of these characters that we will see later age at all between these. Look, I understand that there's a distinction that adults don't look like they age much, but they do. So you have Dave Coulier and the actress playing his wife, and then you have the guy, Brent Briscoe, who plays Big John Wheatley, okay? And then you have the actress who plays the mermaid. But the mermaid, you could say, okay, maybe there's an age thing, you don't age normally. That I could throw out the window. That's fine. But the rest of them, they don't do anything. They don't put, like, a little bit of gray in the guy's hairs or her hair. They just look the same 13 years later. Like, that's what's going to happen. Well, Big John Wheatley is out on his fishing boat when he discovers the mermaid. I don't know the actress's name, sorry. He tries to go after her, but she's able to get away, and she puts her baby Bambino in a boat which happens to belong to the Griffins. No, not. I'm talking about Dave Coulier and his character's wife in this movie. Yeah, they're the Griffins, and no. I don't know if Chris was part fish. I don't know. But the two find the baby and then end up adopting it. We do find out later. I'll put the backstory here. That they found it. They found him. Excuse me. The baby. Tried to find out who belonged to. They couldn't find anyone, so they just adopted him. 13 years later. Well, almost 13 years later. Because it's not quite his 13th birthday yet. He is now Cody Griffin. he's got a friend named Sean, played by Tim Redwine, and he's got a kind of sort of girlfriend named Samantha. Wait a minute. Tim Redwine. Character named Sam. Having Punk's flashback. Anyway, Samantha, there's kind of sort of a thing. I always thought that they were already together, but watching this again, they do. It's like they had something between them, and then they finally just, Cody's on the swim team because, well, we're gonna be obvious in this movie, I guess. And he's always coming in second place, which I do like that. Where it's like, okay, he's not, we obviously know he's a mermaid, so he's the best. Most movies just say, oh, he's the best, best, no one can beat him. But no, he's not the best. He's the second best, and now he's getting his fishy powers. He's starting to become better than Sean, which urged Sean. And if it's one thing about Sean that I don't really care for, it's that they turn him into an antagonist like that. I'll say antagonist because there's no real villain. Because Big John Wheatley is also sort of an antagonist, but not really. I guess Sean is more of a villain because there's no, reconciliation between the two of them. But, at one point, he just snaps. And he's full antagonistic villain mode. And it's kind of confusing. Because if we're going to make Big John sympathetic, which is a good idea, then we're going to have him be sort of a dick. I mean, we see early on that he is already sort of a dick. But it's at the swimming practice where we meet Jess Wheatley, Big John's son. Again, I don't know the actor's name. But the thing with this character is that every time this character comes on screen, at least for the first half of the movie, you hear this sound. What? Like a tuba sound. He has a sousaphone, but you hear this. This tuba sound that accompanies him. Like there's a gag where he's like, "Oh, I've assigned you partners." The teacher's like, "I've assigned you partners." They're like, "Who's Jess Wheatley?" And he puts the paper down and it shows him, and he's like, "Mwah." He's like, "What is with this sound? How I never noticed it before?" Maybe it's because I watched Bionic Pig's review of it. I think it's either Bionic Pig or I can't remember the guy's name. I'm gonna subscribe it to your channel, man. Few. Hold on. I think it starts with an F. Hold on. We'll find out. Hold on. I might be able to actually. That's Bionic Pig. Or maybe he didn't have one. Maybe that's not what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was just Bionic Pig. Yeah, because I'm not. My eye is acting up. Sorry. I'm not seeing it. No, maybe not. Anyway, I can't click on it because then, or I can't hover over it because then it'll start playing the sound. Anyway, so he's paired with Jess on this project, which I don't think we ever find out the results of said project, but this does bring them closer. And then this is where we find out that the mermaid hunting man is Jess's father. But first he's sort of, hey, I'm having a birthday party. Hey, you can come if you want. Thinking he wouldn't show up, but he did. And this is when, Sean's got to be the man and kind of punk him out a little bit. Maybe from a book on sea creatures. We find out. And then, he starts to get very thirsty. There is a scene where there's a long line at the water fountain. And in this scene, a very little, very tiny Kristen Stewart can be seen. Yes, that's right, the Twilight lady. Yes. I almost said the B word, but the Twilight bitch, but I'm not gonna be mean. I shouldn't be mean just because she can't act. I mean, how fair is that? Be mean to someone just because they can act their way out of a brown paper bag. Anyway, how she keeps getting jobs, I'll never know. Anyway, maybe they want no emotion. Who knows? So after this scene, he says he's very thirsty, you know, which I've never gotten. I understand maybe he needs to be in the water a lot. Maybe that's what, well, we can't have him just jumping into the water, especially if we have the whole thing where he gets in the water and it changes, so let's make him thirsty for it. Like, that's a thing, but would he be thirsty for, like, water that comes from the sink and stuff? Wouldn't it be seawater that he would want to drink if he's a mermaid? I understand that seawater is hazardous to people, but he's part mermaid. It may only be half hazardous. I don't know. It's something that, I scratched my head at. But it's at Cody's birthday party, actually, where he and Sam finally become a thing, and they kiss. There's little sparks fly, do 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 do, and then and he's like, well, "We can try again." She's like, "Maybe your next birthday," and I'm like, "What tease, man?" Like, she kisses you, and she's like, "No." At the end of the day, though, fellas, we know as much as women do who dictates things in a relationship. And you can sit there and you can try to deny it till you're purple in the face. But you know, and I know, that I'm not telling the truth. I know, you know, that I don't have any proof. No, I know that you know. I'm going to say it again. You know, and I know, okay? That it's the woman that dictates everything in the relationship. Why do you think I'm single? Ain't no one telling me what to do. Huh? Sorry, dear. Can I go back to the... So, after that, we get the whole thing. After his 13th birthday, his abilities start to show up. He has a dream about the mermaid. Okay, one thing that kind of bugged me, at least at first, is that the mermaid never has a line. She never says anything. She has to, just use her facial features, her eyes, to kind of just emote everything. And you know what? This actress, for having just to do that, she's not bad. It's interesting that they hired an actress. Like, she's an unknown actress, so it's not like they hired. Why am I only getting Jack A in my head? That'd be weird, right? You're a mermaid, you know that? Yeah. No. No, not Jack A. That wouldn't make any sense anyway. She's... Well, if Spanish Javier Bardem can have a child from every different race on the planet, then... Little Mermaid, then fine. But yeah... Bridget Fonda. Another one to just pull out of my ass. If it was Bridget Fonda and all she did was, especially in 1999, Bridget Fonda, that was like Contact and shit, right? At that point, that's when she was popular. So yeah, they just hired Bridget Fonda. So Disney ain't hiring no Bridget Fonda for a TV movie, I'll tell you that much. But still, I'm just saying, I don't know why Jack A and Bridget Fonda. Why am I playing all these obscure actors? I don't know. My brain just... But Jack A was a part of a show where there was siblings that were long lost. Siblings. Sister. Anyway, so Cody has this dream. And he wakes up and he's confused and everything. And so he goes to Jess to try to help him. And they start running tests. And that's when they eventually figure out, because Jess talks to his dad. And there's a scene... It's a pretty good scene where Jess and his dad are kind of getting closer, bonding over the mermaid thing, And at the end of this conversation, he's like, "Dad, tell me everything you know about mermaids." And just the look, this actor, Brent Briscoe, again, just the eye acting, the way he conveys this, like he's almost proud of his son. But I do think that this is what triggers him, like, he's been asking a lot about mermaids. He's hanging out with that new guy, Cody. He's hanging out with a new friend, that Cody guy. Because then he starts to kind of spy on him, right? But one night, Cody gets called out to the... No. Yeah, I think this is now. And he swims out where his mom is. And I believe... that Big John sees him, right? And he sees them both and no, that sort of thing. And so Cody is trying to tell his parents that he's changing, but they don't really believe him. They're saying puberty or whatever. They have a doctor come over. He looks over and he says, blah, 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 puberty, whatever. But then he dunks his arm in water and shows them, and they're like, I mean, first of all, they found him crawling on the ceiling, and they don't believe him about the other stuff. And don't you see earlier on though when his hand sticks to something, so he's going like this, and then mom comes in and sees this, and she's like, and then the dad walks in and he's just like, am I the only one that's sane in this house? Coming from Dave Coulier. He might have been the most sane in Full House, to be honest. Besides the dog. Comet was the man. Or the dog. He was my dog. Could I be any whiter? Could I be any... Anyway. Yo! There we go. Now I'm whiter. So eventually Sam finds out about this. Because, what happens? He go to a swim meet thing and runs off? Yeah, he goes to his swim meet. He decides to go to his swim meet. And he wins. But he wasn't supposed to go to the swim meet because it's changing him. But he goes anyway. And he wins, and this catches the eye of Sean. And Sean goes in the locker room like, Cody, I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm going to find out. Whether it's steroids or something, whatever. I'm going to find out what it is. Spoiler alert, he never does. There's one more scene with Sean, and then he's just gone from the movie. I always think Sean should have been there towards the end of the film. Everyone else gets a reconciliation or a follow-up, but Sean's just left in the wind. Which brings me to a theory. I'll talk about it. So after the swimming meet, he causes the clock screen thingy, the score screen, whatever it is, scoreboard. There it is. I know English. The scoreboard to fry out, and then he runs back to the house, and Jess comes in and they're like, Jess, what are they saying? Well, yeah, they're freaking out. He he won and blew up the thing and took off, and they're confused. He's like, does anybody know anything? And he's like, I'm like, what about Sean? He's like, I think Sean saw something. And then Sam walks in. She sees this. She faints, and then she ends up on the couch, and he's like, I need you. By the way, she's being like a total bitch here. I understand that she would be a little freaked out, but it's his girlfriend. I know they only kind of started dating, which it kind of does make sense now. Because before, it is kind of weird. Like, it's your girlfriend. He's supposed to be by your side, right? But they did just sort of started dating, going together. But they knew each other for a while. So you'd think she would be, okay with this. Right? Or at least try to figure it out, But she's like, promise I won't tell anyone, but I can't deal with this right now. And the next day when Cody tries to talk to her, Sean gets in his face. They have a little schoolboy fight where they just grab each other's collars. That sort of thing. And then, that's it. I guess. And then the teacher breaks him up. And that's the end of Sean, because Cody takes off. And he goes for another swim where he meets with his mom. But something happens and he starts to grow his tail fins. And Jess is there with him. And Sam is there with him, and she runs off to go get his parents, and then Jess shows up. And then Jess doesn't show up. Sam goes to get help. The dad takes Big John Wheatley takes him. And then Jess shows up to try to stop his dad, try to save Cody, but he's trying to use Cody as bait. The Big John's trying to use Cody as bait, trap the mermaid, and he does, but Jess. By the way, there's a whole thing where he and Cody make a deal that if I tutor you, you'll teach me how to swim, which doesn't come in handy because he learns how to swim here. He tries to save the mermaid, but he gets caught in a net and almost drowns. Cody saves him. He brings him up. And he's able to use his shocking powers, which, if you're wondering early on in this movie, why does the mermaid have shocking powers? That's just so we can have this scene where he shocks Jess back to life. Excuse me. That burped. Jess back to life. And then what else? And then the mermaid shows up and he's like, that's my mother, my birth mother. And everyone is there. Sam's there, Big John, except for, I almost called him Drew, Sean, who probably should have showed up to understand some things. But then the mermaid mom telepathically talks to the human mom and says that she's gonna take him with her, but he'll be back before the start of the school year. And then they're like, okay, just like I finally get a friend, and he's a fish. And then Sam's like, don't go after any mermaid girls. Oh, you're gone. He's like, I won't. And then he swims off. The movie ends. Were they setting up for a sequel or a TV series even? The whole dialogue about he'll be back before the school year starts indicates they were planning on doing more. And the fact that they left the Sean plot thread up in the air, not resolved, makes me feel like they were setting up for something. Who knows? Who knows? By the way, it wasn't the end of the school year yet. This is swim team. When is swim team? Is that the spring? I'm guessing. But still, the school year hadn't ended yet. But I guess we're just taking them out early. Is it going to enroll again? I don't know. I'd say this movie's pretty good. This is one of my favorites growing up. I watched it a lot. Still, it's up for me. I really like it. There's some nonsensical things like the tuba sound and everything they showed Jess. But I do not remember hearing it halfway when everything starts being taken serious and he becomes friends with him. I think that's kind of gone. You know, Sean's heel turn just out of nowhere, just so we have sort of an antagonist. And again, it feels like it's left open for a sequel that never happened. I don't know. But I had an idea for a sequel a little while back. Cody comes back, but it's not a year later. It's been, let's see, this was 2001, this was 1999. So let's say 2009, 20 years. Okay? 2009 is 10 years, you idiot. 10 years then. No, I don't make any sense for what I'm doing. 20 years. 2019. 20 years, okay? 20 years. 2019. Chip Starbuck didn't act against, but we have to recast Cody. But he comes back. He's late. He's lived a life. But he never found anyone that he truly loved. So he come back for Sam. But it's revealed that Sam did not stay true because it's been 20 years. She fell for Sean. But, and this is going a little bit heavy for Disney Channel, but if I was making it, I'd be kind of... But she found out that Sean was kind of a jerk. They did end up getting married, but then ended up getting divorced. They had one child. When he comes in, he meets this teenager. that helps him from these sea fishermen who see him as a mermaid. He's learned how to change himself, but he's being helped. Maybe this teenager knows he's a mermaid right away. Maybe he's the Big John character. We found out that you can hide at my house. I think my mom will be fine. And it's her. It's Sam. Find out. And yeah, I don't know what you'd call it. My 33rd year. My 33rd year, or Return of the Fish Boy, or something. You know, my 33rd year. Who knows? They probably could have called it something else, like Mermaid Boy or something. But the 13th year, they do establish, is a thing. That's when the mermaids begin to. They can pass as human, but that's when the fish part starts to come out in the 13th year. So, yeah. So, what are your thoughts? No, I said it's pretty good. What are your thoughts on the 13th year? No one comes slow. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.